What up, party people? What up, YouTube? Chef. New Zealand Murder History Podcast. How you guys doing today? Well, good. I too am good. I'm feeling whimsical. I got some stuff to discuss that's not so good, though. So check this out. Anyone suffering from any kind of mental problem or PTSD, something like that, click off. Kids, click off. This is not suitable for children. My show is just for educational purposes and basically to educate New Zealand and anyone else who cares to watch about what's going on here. Because as much as I like this place, I mean, check it out. Sunny day. Isn't that a good New Zealand landscape? The tree looks kind of scary, but I don't mind the scary tree. Some gorse in the background. You probably can't quite see that. But hey, there's other stuff going on that's not so good. So anyone out there who's a victim of child sex abuse or a victim of brainwashing by an evil cult, I'm mostly talking to my fans from America, I imagine, but we have cults around the world and other places too. We've got one here in New Zealand that I'm going to discuss, and it's called Gloriavale. So yeah, anyone out there who's been affected by anything like that, yeah, also click off and seek support from your doctor or call one of the many 0800 numbers available. I'm just putting this show together. Today we're just reading from the newspaper. We're not from sources on the internet, just the paper. Christchurch Press. It's now just called The Press. So let's source reference. Now, before I do so, let me just sort something out here. I'm actually going to conceal this woman's identity. They put her on the front page of the paper, and I don't know, obviously she's cool with that. But I don't know, me personally, it doesn't feel right. So yeah, this is the ongoing Gloriavale never-ending problem that I keep reading about. They're in an employment court in Christchurch at the moment, and basically I'm not going to get into the whole thing. I'm just going to read the article, and you guys can listen. Tell me what you think. Alright, let's set this up. Let's get some more of the freaky tree. Hang on, maybe like that. Yeah, there we go, that'll do it. I know, a little bit more. There we go. Alright. Gloriavale, new mum, given 1 week off. I remember thinking he was a bad baby. He wasn't bad. He was just a newborn. So that's what it says on the front page of the paper. But yeah, like I said, this is today's issue of the Christchurch Press, now just called The Press. Today is Thursday, September 22nd, 2022. And this article was written by Maureen Lorenz and Sam Sherwood. Yeah, so the name of the article is called Mum Forced Back to Work a Week After Birth. That's the actual name of the article on page 2. A week after giving birth, a former Gloriavale member was forced back to work and given a radio on which she would be called if her baby needed to be fed. This was the testimony of, we're just going to call her Annabelle, in the employment court yesterday about her life in the isolated West Coast Christian community. The employment court case is centered around 6 women arguing they should have been recognized as employees, not volunteers, for the domestic work they did for years at the religious sect. Annabelle is one of the plaintiffs. Annabelle said at about 5 years old she began helping in the kitchen. At 14 she left school. When you leave school, that was when the hard stuff, the heavy duties started for me. When she was pregnant, she worked up until the baby's birth and was then given 1 week off. The baby was then placed in a childcare centre and she carried on with her work. She was given a radio which she would be called on if they needed her to feed the baby. I remember thinking he was a bad baby because he had to be in a routine at 1 week old, and he kind of wasn't. So I had to be at the center, and I thought I was bad, and I was really stressed. To get looked down on if you had to go more than a certain amount of times to feed or settle your baby. And he wasn't bad, he was just a newborn baby. She recalled telling her midwife she thought there was something wrong with her baby. Because I was a first-time mum, I believed it must have been my fault. And it wasn't, actually. Counsel for the defendants, so Gloriavale, put it to Annabelle that contrary to her testimony, her first child was sent to the child care centre when he was 5 weeks old. Annabelle denied this, saying she remembered it was just a week after birth. She said she did not want the leaders to choose a husband for her, as she wanted to marry Isaac, now her husband. They began a relationship which progressed to a sexual one. She said this forced the leaders to let them get married. When the leaders found out she was put in front of a shepherds and servants meeting, the meeting was a humiliating experience. They used words like whore and slut to describe me. They kept telling me it was my fault, and I didn't have downcast eyes. And he was only going for me because I was easy. The couple were married in 2014, but were not given a wedding like other young people. She said she saw other girls her age in tears, having been told to marry someone they did not want to. When she was older, Annabelle said she was always supervised because she had been sneaking around with Isaac. Because of this, she did not have the same problems as other girls when it came to some of the men being inappropriate. However, she recalled when she was aged between 8 and 10, serving leader Howard Temple's table. When you served his table in the morning, he'd put an arm around your waist, kiss your neck, and touch your bum. A lot of the older men thought this was their right with the young girls. Annabelle said she had never heard of tax while she was at Gloriavale. She recalled that after she was married, a woman brought her documents at the breakfast table to sign. She started reading the documents, but the woman scolded her, saying she shouldn't read it and just sign. She now assumes the documents may have had something to do with tax. She had also never heard of working for families' tax credits and didn't know where these payments went while she was in Gloriavale. Annabelle said since leaving Gloriavale, she loved getting to spend time with her children and not having to work so hard. A few weeks after leaving, the couple started to feel free. They built a bonfire and burnt their Gloriavale clothing. When Isaac had his first annual leave, it was luxury we'd never experienced before. It blew my mind you could have a holiday and be paid still. It's the end of the article. So that's the story of a couple who left Gloriavale. Wow. Alright, so where to begin? Yeah, so people are being forced to work. Now when I say forced, what you got to understand is the people in Gloriavale are brainwashed from the get-go. Now, I believe, I'm not sure exactly how many people are there now. I know a lot of people have left Gloriavale, but people still join, and I think there's about 700 people there. Yeah, they actually came out with a Gloriavale movie recently. I was going to watch it, but I didn't get round to it. I don't know if it's still at the cinema or what, but basically it's bad. It's a Christian, fringe Christian cult. But most of the people who live there, they're not bad. They're not child abusers. They're victims of this messed up cult. And I know this because, well, okay, I can't say I know this is fact, but why I say this, why I say I believe that most of the people who live there aren't bad, is because I used to serve them at the gas station I worked at in Greymouth. And basically, they're just extremely brainwashed. They believe the people in the outside world are all full of demons. They believe that Maoris are a bunch of devil worshippers and a bunch of other stuff I'm not really even going to repeat, I suppose. It's kind of nasty, really. But basically, they just believe all sorts of really weird, far-out stuff. And the people in charge are high-ranking pedophiles. It was run by Haupuri Christian was the guy who started it, and he's sketchy as. I'm not going to talk about the crimes he's done because I haven't researched it. I mean, I do know what he's done, but I don't have it written down here with me now, so I can't tell you exactly what dates and stuff like that these crimes occurred. But he's been jailed for child sex abuse, put it that way. He's dead now, yeah, Haupuri Christian. He was bad news. Yeah, and they've all got biblical names, you know. Like people are called, for example, I don't know, stand true, steadfast, and stuff like that. And like it sounds like a bad comedy, like it's all a joke or something, but this is a real place. Like I could drive to Gloriavale from where I am right now, and it would take me about 3.5 hours. Yeah. But I wanted to read you guys that article because I wanted to ask, what do you guys think, New Zealand public? What do you think? What do you think we should do about Gloriavale? Because here's the thing. I actually don't know. I've thought about this for a while, and I don't know what to do. But I know we have to do something. I don't think I'm going to be popular for saying this, but I actually think we should go and talk to the USA and ask them to send an anti-cult team over to New Zealand to brief the New Zealand police and anyone else, psychiatrists who are going to be needed for mental health assessments. We're going to have to brief medical staff, anyone who's going to be involved. It's going to be a multi-agency approach, and we're going to have to deconstruct this monstrous cult. It's a cult. Because it's a nice day today, and New Zealand's a good place, but you know, I don't know. I mean, I'm not there. I don't know anyone at Gloriavale, but you know, there could be kids getting abused there today. Probably is. I'm not suggesting we go in there blasting like Waco, Texas and kill everybody. That's crazy talk. And I don't think that's going to solve any problems. I don't know what we should do, but we got to do something. Because I don't think the police can handle the problem with the criminal justice system that we have now. Because Gloriavale has all the money, so they have the best lawyers. Now, they might lose this case in the employment court. I don't know. They don't always win everything, but they are extremely... I mean, they're not stupid, you know what I mean? They have a lot of money tied up in pharmaceuticals and farming and all sorts of stuff. They run hunting trips where people come over from overseas and they pay a lot of money to go out hunting with the some of the blokes from Gloriavale, and they go deer hunting and stuff. These are all money-making ventures, and the money keeps the whole thing going. People in Gloriavale don't really understand how to survive on the outside world, so it's hard for them when they leave. There is actually a woman in Timaru, I forget her name. Anyway, she runs the Gloriavale Leavers Trust, where she takes families in who've left Gloriavale, and you know, she deprograms them and stuff like that. It's actually really cool. So at least she's doing something, but yeah, I don't know. If you guys have any ideas, please put them in the comments. Alright, that's me. I'm done. That's my show. Have a good one, everybody. Enjoy yourselves.